Fox Sports Radio, iHeartRadio, and FS1 1 hour from now, and it will look much different. My top 10 herd hierarchy, just frothing at releasing that today. Joy Taylor is joining me. Such a great night. Cigars, sushi.
Yeah, you were living your best life last night.
Wife's out of town. It's like
and you got to be petty with Steelers fans.
Well, you know what? I'll be honest. A lot of you don't think I have feelings, and they've hurt my feelings. They've been very mean to me, and it's very sad. And I think, listen, I'm going to consider accepting apologies. I'm not saying I will, but I will consider accepting apologies. So let's start our show with this. I do a herd hierarchy every week, and, Kansas City's the best team in the league. Every week, though, I look at Pittsburgh, and I'm like, out of respect for Tomlin, the Rooney family, just they're such a formidable, great business. But, great businesses like Sears and J.C. Penney, they erode over time. And the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't just lose last night. They're now forcing, on a regular basis, Big Ben to throw over 50 times. Not good. The injuries are piling up. Not good. They don't even attempt to run the football. Not good. And they struggle to put away average teams. Not good. Last night they finally lost. And there are certain things that I look at, and I just see other things. And I'll give you an example. Remember the movie Invincible, Mark Wahlberg, the bartender? It's a true story. He's a bartender, blue-collar guy, loses his wife, and he tries out for the Philadelphia Eagles. A tryout. He's just a regular dude, and he makes the team for a couple years. But when I watched the movie Invincible, it's a fun sports movie, Greg Kinnear, Mark Wahlberg, what I really see is, it's just Rocky with football. It's a tough Philadelphia guy, not making it, has a big dream, the bartender, Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, and they make it in Philadelphia. I can't watch Invincible without seeing Rocky. It's Rocky with a football. And I'm watching the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you know what they are? They're the Patriots last year. Patriots got off to this 8-0 start. We were like, wow. And all of a sudden, the games got closer, and they were asking more of Brady, and the results weren't good. Big Ben's had a passer rating last 3 games in the 80s, and they were asking more of Brady, and there was a couple of losses, and all of a sudden you look up, and here's what Pittsburgh is. Early in the year, Ben was 103 passer rating, throwing 35, 36 times a game. 7 yards a pass, 22 touchdowns, 4 picks. Weeks 11 through 13, they're the Patriots. I can't unsee it. And then all of a sudden you looked at the Patriots, and they weren't getting blown out at the end, and Pittsburgh won't get blown out. They were losing close games to Houston. They lost a close game to Kansas City. They lost a close game to Miami. And then they got one and done in the playoffs by Tennessee. They are the Patriots last year. This is exactly what New England was. We paid them so much respect because of the brand and the name and Big Ben and Brady and the coach. They're just not dynamic. Look at them. They can't run. They don't want to make Big Ben throw 45, 55 times. That's what they have to do. They're not doing what they want to do. They're doing what they have to do. I mean, just injuries piling up. Think about this. Mike Tomlin eviscerated the Steelers a week ago. Just called them out. Said the word suck. We suck. What did he do that for? To mobilize the forces so the fellas like, okay, coach is upset. Focus in. No, they were worse the following week. Because this is what they are. They're not a great football team. They're a good football team. 1 week from now, they face Buffalo. They're going to lose, and when they do, they'll no longer be the top seed. Similar last year to New England. Lost that last game to Miami, and they lost the bye. Similar when Gronk left, New England really struggled in the pass game despite Brady. And since Le'Veon Bell has left the Steelers, do you know what they are in rushing? 31st 1 year, 29th the next year, and 29th the following year. They're the same team, invincible and rocky with a football. This is the Patriots last year. It's the same thing. We gave them so much credit. Then you look back at the 8-0 Patriots and you're like, what were the impressive wins? And you look back at the Steelers and they had 1 or 2, but you're like, it's a bunch of stuff over the Jags and Cowboys. And what am I supposed to be? That big win over the Bengals. Last year, Patriots crushed the Jets and Giants. They were both awful. The Bengals this year, not good. Cowboys aren't good. And I'm sorry, but this is what they are. We paid them so much respect for the 8-0 New England start and the 11-0 Pittsburgh start. Watch the games. There's no there. Mike Tomlin after.
We just got to make routine plays routinely. And I say that often, but there's a lot of truth to it. I'm just worried about us fluidly moving the football, whether it's run or pass. We move it how we choose to move it. The way that we chose to move it tonight wasn't fluid enough for us to have victory.
Rookie wideout Jerry Jeudy only caught one pass on 4 targets in the Broncos' 22-16 loss to the Chiefs on Sunday night. And he seemed to vent about it on Twitter, which is never a good idea. Posting, quote, "At least I got my conditioning in." Jeudy deleted the tweet, but not before speculation ran wild that he's fed up with Drew Lock, the latest in a string of 9 different QBs Denver has gone with since Peyton Manning retired after Super Bowl 50. So, Shannon, I got to ask you, is John Elway still in search of a franchise quarterback?
Absolutely. And it's the hardest position to identify and develop in any professional sport.
Yeah, John Elway is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the history of this league.
And he can't seem to find one that can get them to where they need to be. And Drew Lock is not it, Skip. He makes too many mistakes.
Totally agree.
He makes entirely too many mistakes, and people have bought in to them falling behind by 25 points and him throwing a couple of touchdowns late and says, yeah, he has that in him. But, Skip, he's a one-read guy, and if that guy's not open, he's more apt to make a terrible decision. Like, they're going down the field. Their first drive, Skip, they're going right down the field. Run the ball, passing, and then all of a sudden he wants to throw across his body to a guy that's covered by Honey Badger. What?
Bad idea.
It's just, he's not the answer. And until you find that, because they got skill position. I love Jeudy. I love Patrick. I love Hamler. They can run the ball decent. Garrett Bowles has turned into a top tackle, but it's just a quarterback. I don't care. And you look at their defense. Now, they're doing this without Vaughn, who's their best player. They're doing this without Jarrell Casey, who's one of their better players on the defense.
Agreed.
But I don't care how good you are in what other areas. You can't overcome bad quarterback play. That's the one, Skip, I can hide everything else. If I got a weak lineman, I can slide, I can chip. If I got a weak corner, I can roll coverage. I can't hide my quarterback because he takes the snap every single time.
Agreed. I did not like Drew Lock when he was at Missouri coming out in the draft. I like him less now. And they seem to like him less now because there was a crucial 4th down late in that game, you recall, when they decided to punt the ball back to Patrick Mahomes, which is not a great idea.
Especially the 50. I think you was up plus 50.
Yeah. And you're just telling me I don't trust him to get us, I think it was 4th and 3.
Yes.
Maybe? Yeah. Okay. I don't trust him to get 3 yards. My first thought at the end of that game, and I tweeted about this, you can laugh if you want, but I believe Tim Tebow would have won that game in his prime back in 2011. That was a silver platter Tim Tebow kind of game where they just say, go, do it. Run that read option. Just whatever you have to do. Get the 3 yards. Let's go score. Let's beat these guys. That's what he kept doing through 2011. John did not love Tim Tebow. He inherited Tim Tebow, obviously, and he said, let's get this experiment over with. When they went to Miami for an early season game, they're 1-4, and Tebow won the game in overtime. And here they went, and they ended up winning the division, beating Ben Roethlisberger in a home playoff game, and you know the rest of the story. Then guess who knocked on John's door? Peyton Manning, who had been pushed out the back door in Indianapolis. He comes to Elway. He's like, hey, can I play? Yeah, you can play for us, sure. Was Peyton a better choice than Tim Tebow? Yes, as big a Tebow fan as I was. Peyton Manning, you got a shot at him? And I know they said for a while he couldn't even throw the ball across the room, you know, like with his
by
neck
10
injury.
yards.
Yeah, but he bounced back, and he should have won 2 MVPs, I thought, and he won you a Super Bowl. You know the rest of the story. It put John Elway on the map that he had as a GM.
But a lot of times what happens, Skip, is that when you get quarterbacks like a John Elway, like a Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, is that they never miss, and you don't really think about getting guys because Russell Wilson was also in that draft. And so you got Peyton in free agency. You could have, but you settled for Brock Osweiler.
Yep.
And you settle for Paxton Lynch.
And
you try to get all these guys, Skip, and until you solve that position. Nothing else matter.
Nope.
Look at Buffalo. Buffalo had defenses, had all the until they settled on Josh Allen.
Yep.
You look at until you get a quarterback, I don't care what other positions you have and how great they are. Without that one, you're not winning in the NFL.
Remember, Buffalo drafted E.J. Manuel out of Florida State. Didn't work.
Nope. He lasted, what, a year?
Yep.
Maybe 2?
Okay.
Until you get that position, and Skip, the way the rules are set up, and everybody plays in space, Drew Lock is last in completion percentage at 55%. Do you know how bad you got to be dead last in completion percentage?
I got it. So John Elway is turning into the Michael Jordan of NFL GMs, because you would think Michael could pick players, but he can't pick players in Charlotte.
Well, John is picking players. He just can't pick that player.
But it's the position he should know the best, and he just can't find one. And he's evaluating them, and he says, oh, I think Paxton Lynch can play. No, he can't play.
No. Okay. No, he couldn't. Brock Osweiler. Skip, you should have known. Anytime a quarterback gets 6'7", let it go. Look at every quarterback that's been 6'7". Go back and look it up and look at it, check his resume.
Yep.
Dan McGuire, Mark McGuire's brother, Paxton Lynch, Brock Osweiler. The taller, the sorrier. So, but Drew Lock ain't it.
Nope. Agreed.
Okay, guys, get this. The numbers are in from Mike Tyson's return to the ring, and I'm not going to lie, they're pretty shocking. We'll tell you what it means for Tyson's